Okay, I think we're on. Let me reduce my OBS a little bit. Let's see if I can get a preview of myself. There we are. And here we are. Okay, well, I've been a busy bee. I've done a lot. Kind of ended the stream a little earlier yesterday, just because, like, I needed to focus. That happens sometimes. I just need to, like, focus, so I work on this off stream. I work on this off stream a lot. But I kind of enjoy... See if I can adjust my mic without it disconnecting. I kind of enjoy having this record of me working on this. Maybe I'll edit them together in their own videos. But I've been a busy bee. So let's see how I've been a busy bee. Alright, so first I have this sleep mechanic now. Because after you read your messages, let's read all the messages really quick. And it allows you now, after you read your messages, allows you to mow. You can see I have the calendar system all set up, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And after you mow the lawns, let's see if I can quickly mow this lawn. I made the test lawn much smaller so I could test things. I should make it even smaller for testing reasons. But it's also good to have something to play to see if this still feels good. Oh, I've also adjusted the turning mechanic, so now I can very easily just tap a direction to turn one bit. But then, of course, hold. Let's turn more quickly, but it's feeling good. Still. There we go. So I need something, so when you finish a job, like you see a message or something, I need a way to cancel out of the job and like get notice or confirmation before you cancel out of the job. Well, you'll see that it'll have a little record of when you've mowed the lawn. So I mowed my lawn on Monday, right? I can back out and I can sleep. Now I don't have a fade outer system yet, so it just jumped there. But now I go here, you see that it's Tuesday, right? That's what the Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, right? Now I want to put the calendar information like up here in the HUD. Actually, in fact, this is when I start thinking about how I want to use my HUD. I always want to use this section for inputs. I'm wondering, I want to leave as much of this open as possible, but I definitely want to put calendar and time up here. But now, see that it's marked that I've mowed my lawn on Monday, and if I try to mow it again, it says already mowed this week, and you lose the little exclamation point. And if I sleep and so it's Monday again, cycles around to Monday, it's reset, right? So obviously there's a lot of stuff I need to do. And find clients, I also need to set up that XP thing to get new clients, but that's on the back burner now that I have at least one mini game there. So I have all these things I need to work on. I think right now the thing that matters most to me right now is the fade in, fade out system, because going between rooms, that gives a little bit of a buffer for inputs. So that actually affects the mechanics slightly. Also definitely want to get a confirmation when mowing, because right now, let's see if I can skip the messages and go right to mowing. Right now, if I'm in a mow job and exit out, it just jumps back. But I want it so if you press the exit button, you get a little confirmation question saying like, do you want to exit? You know. Also need a message up here saying that you got paid for at the end of the job. So the whole like end of job experience needs to get defined. So maybe that's what I should call it, the end of job. Also, I need to make that the other tools. Let's add that. Add other tools to mowing. I have thought of watering. uh, weed management. What else did I think of? Fertilizer. Fertilizer, is that how you spell it? Watering, weed management, fertilizer, and then I can add like other tools. Like if I introduce a mechanic where like the owner's pets run up to you, you can switch to like a bell or a horn, scare away pets, kids. You know, I can add these other tools because right now I've now created a new input. Oh, dang it. I need to be faster. There's this split second where I can get into the mowing quickly. Right now I have it set as next tool. So I want on the HUD to cycle through the tools. So right now no tools selected, but then X will be the mowing blade. But then you can hit Y again. Instead of just turning it off, it'll cycle to like the next tool, and I'll have the list of tools there. So that can get used in the HUD as well. So lots to work on, but right now I want to get the fade ins, fade out system working. I want the money system. I want a year calendar system. Descriptions for each main interface item. Yeah, so I have a lot of work to do. I think after I get some of these things done, I can start working on the beginning of the game or the tutorial of the game, because I always like to try to get the tutorial built as soon as possible so you can have people like start playing it as soon as possible. So right now I could hand this to people and they wouldn't have any idea what to do, right? But I want to start getting this in people's hands fast. So yeah, I have a lot to do. Not that long to do it because I need to get out of here. It's 9:23 right now. I should probably leave here at 11 because I have a meeting at 11:30 somewhere in town. So if I'm leaving here at 11:30, that means I have like an hour and a half to work on this. So let's work. And this is all the work I'll be able to do on it today, I think. So let's get going. So I've already started on the fade-in system. Now I'm going to be using the cameras. I'm going to make sure there's a camera in every room that's managing the visuals. This is just temporary. So you can see my idea for a fade-in system. Or fade-out system. Let's fade out. I should do like if fade out. Fade out is true. Out equals true. There we go. Oh, this is a fade in. Sorry. Fade in. Fade in. There we go. So this is our fade in system. And actually, with the fade in system, no, it's a fade out, Sky. God. Fade out. Fade out. I have it creating these little squares, but I have it as the color of the background color, so it looks just like things are getting chopped away, which looks kind of cool. But I think it'd look cooler if I had maybe some outlines. So I want to do maybe another rectangle here. Let's see if I can just do this really quick. Make this true. And then draw set color global dot alt. Color alt. And then I'll move this before each thing. Right? So let's add the background color for each of these so I don't forget. So I have basically 4 sets of squares being drawn, but I think you can't even see what it is without the outline. So I'm going to try to add outlines to these so the players and you can see what the heck is going on. All right, so here we have just copy and paste, ka-chunk, and ka-chunk. Oh, over here. Yep. Oh, this didn't copy. Oh, copy. That's why freaking out at me. Okay. So now let's see what it looks like. Something's going on. Oh, I need to set these to true. 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 Because these make an outline of the box on top of the dark background. So let's see. Whoa. Eesh, that's horrible. That's the worst thing I've ever seen. Maybe that's a bad idea. Yeah, I'm overcomplicating it. Let's get rid of it. This is why we prototype. Get rid of it. You can't tell how something's going to be. Oh, watch this. So, right now it's just the background color, and I can show y'all what that looks like. Let me just move it back up here again. If I change this to a different color, you can see the boxes sort of appear. Chunk, 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 chunk. And then I imagine for the fade in, they will chunk, 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 chunk out. If we reduce the timers, like make this timer 1 times 2, timer 1 times 3, timer 1 times 4, and then set this to be like longer so you can actually see what's happening. Chonk, 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 chonk. Right? I want it fast because I want to be able to navigate the menu fast, but not too fast. Chonk, 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 chonk. Is that right? Maybe make it like 8 frames? Let's just keep it at 10 for now. Well, actually, if I want it 10 frames, I have to set this to 9 to be 10 frames. Chunk, 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 chunk. But I want this to be the background color. And you can see I only want the fade-ins and fade-outs to be on the non-HUD elements. Oh. Oh. Color back. So yeah, it looks like that, which maybe will work fine. Especially with the right sound effect. And then I want to simplify this code a little bit. This was just to prototype the look, but now that I prototyped the look, let's make this a little more elegant. 4 variables. This seems to be working. Yeah. This seems to be working. I don't want to call it timer though. I want to call it something else. Let's call it fade box 1, fade box 2. I don't know if it's working. Maybe I should just keep it the way it is, but kind of like I could just stack it in a bunch of if statements. Maybe I don't like that. Yeah, this is just more elegant, I think. Let me just change the names. Maybe just clean up where things are placed. Right, so let's make it an inline thing. Just to make it a little prettier for me. A little better organized. That's fade out. Yeah. So fade out, this draws it in this order. We have to change these words also. Box 3, fade box 4. Doesn't really matter the order, so I could do a fade in like the opposite direction. So maybe I should try that first. So I got the fade out working, but what about a fade in? So what would a fade in look like? If fade in is true, do something different. So fade in equals true. Let's change this to false. Right? And then different, because if it's a fade in, it starts being drawn and then slowly stops. So I think I'm gonna have to do a different set of code. See if we can keep these same timers though, just for convenience, right? Total frames it takes for one set of boxes to get from. I'm gonna sneeze. Oh no, I don't want to sneeze on stream. So the first timer will actually region fade out and region. And then we'll do a whole thing here saying if fade out is true, this is when you do these things. Nor said otherwise. Okay. I'm going to minimize this for now to a new region. Fade in. And then if the system works, I can move it to other cameras. And I can even make like a parent object, etc. So for fade in, we just want to do like the opposite. So instead of a timer going down to 0 and then showing it, we want a timer, we want it to be already showing and then a timer to stop showing. So it'd be greater than 0. Yeah, that's what it would look like. Fade box 1 is greater than 0. If fade in is true. All right. So if fade box 1 is greater than 0, like show all the stuff. Do I want to duplicate this? Yeah, why not? Why not? And then I can just do the same for the other. If, you know what, I can just copy all this shit. Chunk, just copy all of it and then just change the condition. It's greater than 0, is greater than 0, is greater than 0, and is greater than 0. So I've already set fade in to be true, and the timers in or fade in. Yeah, and then at the end, else fade out equals false, fade in equals false. Right? So let's see what a fade in looks like. What's the color issue? The color issue is because I have the color declared here. Yeah, that looks good. That fade in looks good. If I want to see what it looks like, actually getting drawn, change it to Alt. Right? Yeah. Actually, I'm going to get rid of this part where it changes these to false because I want fade ins and fade outs to do different things. I'll do it down here. If fade out or fade in is true, so I need to reset those variables because you have a fade in, then these need to get redeclared. For simplicity's sake, let's get back to just working with fade outs and fade ins separately. So if fade out, it'll fade out. First, just want to make sure it's working. Yeah, so it's fade out. Fade out is true. It'll do the timers. And then at the end of the timers, I want it to go to, because it's a fade out if it's going someplace, right? Let's just give it a test room. Fade room equals R advertise 0. Why not? Just a random room. Fade oh, how about this? R messages. There we go. It's only going to fade out if it's going someplace. That much we know. So we can say, like, if fade box 4 is less than or equal to 0, last box has been drawn. Do we want one more timer before it goes to the next room? I don't think so, because there's going to be a timer for the fade in, so it'll still feel like chunk, 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 chunk. Yeah, chunk, 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 chunk. Room change. Chunk, 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 chunk. Chunk, 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 room change, chunk, 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 chunk. But it's going to feel like chunk, 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 chunk. Chunk, 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 chunk. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. It's still going to feel okay. It's going to feel okay. So we can just go right to the next room. Room, go to fade room. Right? So this is where we need to start having some global variables, because I want the game to behave differently during fade-ins and fade-outs. Let's go to useful variables. Fade system. Global dot fade in equals false. Global dot fade out equals false. In my last game, I found these global variables to be really helpful. Very simple. Global dot fade out. Fade in, fade out, false, false. But for here, yeah, we're just keep it like that. Yeah, we can change that. So for now, we can actually change this to the global variable, I think. global dot fade in, global dot fade out. And then fade out is just going to be set to true for now, but I'll change it to a function later. So here, global fade out is true, you know, it will set global dot fade out equals false. Go to the room. Oh yeah, and then global dot fade in is true, and then it'll go to the fade room. And then down here, we can do if global dot fade in if fade box for is less than or equal to 0, meaning no more boxes on the screen, no more boxes being drawn. Then I can change global.fade in equals false. And I think that's all I have to do. Make sure that everything gets set to false again. So fade room. So I'm gonna change this fade in equals true, false, and I'm gonna set, actually I'll do that in room code. Room interface, global.fade in is true. And I'll do a function to have the room change also, but I'll worry about that in a moment. And then to test it, I'm going to go to an object here. Let's just say the one that takes us to messages. And the function will not be room go to my room. The function will be something different. It'll be global.fade out. I can also just set global fade out to equal a room. That'll be funny, but I won't do that. Equals true, and with OCamera, which I've set as a parent object, fade room equals other dot my room. All right, let's try it. So we should see a fade in, fade in. It did not fade out. Oh, because these variables need to get reset. Because these variables all got to 0. Reset these variables. Fade box max. 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 And max, these will be the things that get reset. And then fade box 1 equals fade box 1 max. Two, Oh. 3. Hey, stop. 4. 2. 3. 4. I don't care if it's janky, if it works. And then similarly here. I guess, yeah, if we're fading in, maybe the only place we need it is the fade in, because the fade out, if we go into a new room, the variable gets reset. Don't even need that. Let's try it. Fade in, go to messages, fade out. Nice, let's see that again. Fade in. Fade out. I want to see that what the fade in, the fade out to fade in transition looks like. But I think since I have a system working, the last thing I want to do here is just to interface buttons. Let's go back up here. Turn this into a function. So just for simplicity's sake, I like this. Let's call this fade in. And the fade in function is very simple. Room, your face. Fade in function is very simple. It just sets fade in to be true. If global.fadeIn is false, fade in is true. Fade in. Fade in function there. And then for the fade out function, script fade out will be a little different because we need to go someplace. The fade out function will do, if global.fadeOut is false, switch it to .fadeOut is true. And then with camera, and this way with different rooms it can fade out different parts of the screen. I have way more control if I always use a camera object. With camera, we'll set fade room equals, let's do target room. See if this works here. Yep. And just because I'm anal, I just want this to happen during one step. If fade room doesn't equal target room, I know this doesn't make much of a difference, but this assures me this only happens during one frame, so I can put it anywhere. Ooh, I can just do it here to make sure it's on the same frame. Yeah, that's what I'll do. With camera. Yeah, get rid of that. And that happens during one frame anyway, so there we go. Boom. Ka-chunk, as I like to say. Fade out equals true with camera. Fade room equals target room. Beautiful. Fade out. And so here, I would just say fade out, and the target room would be R, would be my room. There we go. Let's see if everything's working the same. And then we can start adding it other places. So fade in, fade out. Okay. So fade in and fade out is working. And let's... Now, what happens if a fade in... It's called... Well, this is when I start adding exits to my step events, that nothing happens unless there's no fade happening. I'll do that to all my objects in a moment. But for now, I want to get this integrated to all my cameras. So right now, my cameras, all my cameras, none of my cameras draw anything, right? So let's look at that, just verify it. Look at all the camera objects. So camera mowing, camera messages, camera clients, camera advertise, and then the one that we've already set up is camera interface. So they have create events. Some of them have step events when they need to move the camera or do something with the camera. None of them have draw events. So I'm going to make this a part of the OCamera parent object. So let's open OCamera. And I'm going to just go, oh, cut. Oh, here we go. Cut. And let's delete this. Add event. Oh, GameMaker's thinking. Add event. Draw. Oh yeah, this needs to get box size. And then for a step event, I also want that inherited. So let's add step. Let's remove all of this. And then delete this. No, we can just say event inherited. And then we can just go here and go to all of them. Parent. Actually, I want everything set up before I set these. There we go. So actually, I can get rid of that. And this. Actually, I'll just set this to none for now. And then I'll set all of them at the same time. And then create. Fade stuff. I can just go all of this. All of this. Fade room, let's just say our interface will be the default. And this gets put in the create event. Right? Okay, so now all the stuff is there. Right? Yeah. Now I can set all the parent stuff. So parent objects, cameras, OCamera. So yeah, it just automatically inherited the events correctly. Beautiful, okay. Add event, no, parent, objects, cameras, OCamera. See. Now the create event, we need event inherited, and I need to do that in the interface one too. For this one, they're also very easy. Objects, cameras, OCamera, and then on the create event, event inherited. Here we have two, so we'll have two events that we have to inherit. Objects, cameras, OCamera. top here. And then at the top here. Same for here. Objects. Cameras, oh camera, and then inherit those events. Beautiful. And then one other thing I'll do under oh camera is I will do, this has to happen. This also has to happen. Yeah. So what I will do is that now on my objects, I need to make it so you can't do anything during fade-ins and fade-outs. Actually, I'll do that later because I need to test all of these. So let's go through all of our rooms and add fade into all of these. Room messages, fade in. Room interface, fade in already. Room clients, fade in. Room advertise, fade in. Reset week. So that's all the rooms. So we'll get fade ins for everything. And we only have a fade out for messages. So let's go to interface and just go to all of these. Fade out my room should now be the go-to. Oh. Check messages cleared. This is... Here we are. Messages already has it. So that's everything on the interface. Let's just go through everything here and see if anything needs to happen. I know for the control objects I need to. Clients. Clients button par. Is anything? Nope. So I think that's all good. And then for controls, anywhere where there's a back, instead of room go to fade out our interface. Oh, control clients. Beautiful. There's no back there. Lawn. Our clients. And messages. Fade out our interface. Helpful, wait to start, HUDs. Nothing. Interface did all those. Messages. I don't think I have to do these with messages. I do have to do this with messages. Because actually we have a control object there. Yeah, I don't think I have to do anything there. Here we have... No, that's for the control object. Yeah, I think that's all of them. Let's try it. Turn on my controller after this loads. There we go. Turn on my controller. So we had a fade in. Oh yeah, it was sleep. Yeah, it still does it. Find clients. Oh, that feels fun. I need to make it a little faster. Fade out. Oh, mess. Huh? Rooms. Fade in. What happened? I didn't see the fade in. It just popped. Oh, I think... Yeah, I know why. Because I need to go to all of these rooms and create a camera layer and make sure the cameras are getting created there. So let's go through just all the rooms. Let's call this fade, call it camera. Open, call this camera. Then lawns, same thing. These take a second to load. Thankfully, I have this fade layer I've already created that I decided is not the direction I was going to be going with the system. And then menus. Call it camera. Interface already has a camera. Instance layer. Okay, fade, change to camera. And then our splash doesn't need it, but I'm going to add it anyway, just in case anything happens, just to be consistent. And then under all of our room codes, we need to make sure the camera is getting created in the camera layer. Yes. Interface already done. Clients, camera, advertise, camera. Now it should be working. Fade in. Delete, fades out, fades in. Find clients, fades out, fades in. Messages, fades. Hey now. Hey now. Something's happening. Messages function is fade out my room. Right? So the fade out is happening correctly, and it's going to the right room. But then when it opens room messages, right? Room messages is playing there. Room messages scripts. And it has a camera. There we go, yeah. Camera layer. Room messages. Oh, this is the one place. Okay. Camera. Okay. I love it when I find a bug fast. Alright, so fade out, fade in. There we go. But no fade. I didn't want fade ins or fade outs for the messages. I like this. I like that it's only doing it on the gameplay side of things. I feel like it's very chonky, which is the vibe of the game. I want it to be a little faster though. Which is easy because I can just go to cameras and go to O Camera and go to fade one box max and just change this to like 6 and see how that affects the game. So we need, let's do this. Yeah, that's looking really slick. I want it faster. See how fast I can make it. What's interesting though is that when I change this, this isn't the total fade time. The total fade time is multiplied by 4. So 16, if I set this to 10, it'd be 61 frames technically. So this is setting it to be much faster. This is setting it to be 15 frames total, which is a quarter of a second. So the total fade time should be a half second. See, there we go. I gotta remember the math there. This is a half second. Does a half second feel too slow for like fast? Let me just imagine the sound effect that'll go with this. I'm gonna try to like imitate it here. It goes. Now I can also later change the function so I can alter the speed of the fade out. Make it part of the fade out script, right? Have the default before. All right, so let's make sure I haven't introduced any bugs. Let's play through all the rooms. Yeah, so the mowing's working. Oh, that looks good. Now, if you want to get really trippy, watch this. Watch this. If I change it to a different color here, you can actually see what's happening much more clearly, and I bet it would look way too bright. Let's see it, though. Blech! See, it's way too... But it shows you what it's doing. You're gonna jump. You're gonna jump. You're gonna jump. You're gonna jump. See, this is actually helping me because that last box... Change this to 10. That last box, is it staying on screen long enough for me? Okay. If I go here. Maybe. Sorry, I'm sure I'm giving you a seizure. Change this back to the background color. Just looks better. Oh yeah, on the mowing, I actually have to go to a client's thing. See how it works. So if I'm like in the middle of the lawn, so I can see all of it. See, what's great about this, as it's being the background color, you don't see the fade happening where you see the background. Wherever you see the background, in the player's mind, my mind, the fade isn't happening. The fade is only happening where there's graphics. Oh, wait. Wait. Watch this. Okay, I notice a bug. I see a bug. Let's slow this down tremendously. The fade is not happening in the right spot. It's not happening in the right spot in the mowing rooms. So let's check that out. It's happening in a weird spot. Oh, I was going to try to skip the messages. See, watch. Okay, if I change, I also got to change the color here so I can actually see what's happening. But I'm pretty sure in the mowing rooms, color alt. Color alt. I'm pretty sure in the mowing rooms, it's not being drawn in the right spot. Okay. Okay. See? It's only happening up here. Okay. This is good to know. Okay. That is very, very important. So. So right now, width and height, I have it hard locked width and height. Okay, okay, yes. Okay, okay. And it's just drawing in the room. It's not drawing in relation to the camera. And I was going to fix that, and now I remember that I was going to fix that. So, it will have to be W half equals like I already have this with half. Yeah. Now I want to hard code it because sometimes the cameras are different. So I'm going to hard code this as being 150 and 135. Half of game view window width. Half of game view window height. Yeah? And then I just go over here to draw, and instead so for x1, y1, x1 plus box size, x1 plus box size. These locations need to be changed to be in relationship to x. So instead of being 0, the far left would be x minus w half. And then its maximum width also doesn't have to be in the room. It has to be in relationship to x coordinate. So it'd be as long as x1 is less than x plus w half. Yes. And then for y, it'd be similar. 0 would be the equivalent of y minus h half. And y plus h half. I'm glad I was testing it in the lawn mowing rooms. So that would get it to 300. Okay. Right? Yeah, this is being updated every frame, so I don't have to worry about any of this. Okay, and now I need to mimic this with the other ones. So this would be box size. And this would be the same. Then Y's would be plus box size. And this would just be the same. plus. Yeah, I can change all these pretty unilaterally. Let's do this one at a time so I don't miss anything. And so box 3 would be the same as up here, which is just and then the Y would be the box size. Height would be this. I'm sure this is extremely titillating to watch. And then this would be, I think it's this. And this would always be the same. This would always be the same. Right? And then this would be just y minus half. Whew. Oh, do I have to do all this again? I think I can copy and paste it. I just got to change what it means. So greater than 0 is what I'm looking for. Copy. Copy. Greater than 0. Greater than 0. Greater than 0. Greater than 0. Whew! Let's see how much I broke my game. Fade out. Oh. And now I need to make sure that in all of my cameras, the X and Y location is being updated appropriately. So I'll get to that in a moment. I think with messages, especially since I have another camera dealing with down here. Let's just look at other rooms really quick. Okay, and now let's go to mowing. Alright, so fading out. I go over here. Oh, it needs to rotate. Yes. Yes, I forgot about that. So in line has to rotate. Messages, something's happening there. So let's start with messages, because I'm pretty sure I know how to handle the mowing part pretty easily. Hopefully. Hopefully. Oof. Okay, let's find out. Okay, let's go to O camera messages. And the create event. Yeah. Why is it like this? I forgot. Let me just say, comment this out. Has been at 105. What happens if I change this to 35? Messages. Yeah, still not right. It's too high. It's because of this. I can create a new viewport that's always the right dimensions and location. Because this right there. It's not being allowed to go down enough. What happens if I just comment that out? I'm sure it'll break it. That's what will happen. Yeah, because then this... Yeah. It's because I didn't make these separate rooms. If I made these separate rooms, that wouldn't be an issue. Minus 60. So let's add a note that I need to make the messages landing page its own room. Different rooms for the message threads. That is important. Important. So I'll get to that in a moment. Yeah. Change this back to 105. But now for the rotating bit for camera mowing. Because right now, global camera rotation is true, right? Let me just verify. Yeah, it is set to true. So it's updating the angle. It has the angle, right? Oh, let's add another idea. And then also I need make it so you can't do stuff during fades. That's also important. So I need camera set view angle. So right now, can I draw a rotated rectangle? Is there a function for that? Draw rectangle X. Okay, so let's look at our draw functions and see if I can draw things rotated. I know I can, if I can draw shapes rotated. Oh, we totally can, because I've done it in the past. I've drawn a shape rotated. I draw a color. But that was in a previous prototype, so let's go look at that other prototype. Oh, what happened to the music? Oh, I exited out of the browser. Haha. And also want to get my stream back here. 480, don't need it that big. Pardon me. Oh, get this. Playing again. Go. So let's save this. It is saved. In fact, I'm going to export it just to back it up. Tech Mower. Today's the 17th. Am I on time? How did I draw a rotated shape? Let's find out. I've done it in the past. Objects. It's not OPlayer bike, is it? try x1. Okay. This is how I did it. Lengther X, lengther Y. Which was length and direction. So the direction would be related to the angle. Okay. The things I do for these silly fade effects. I want it to work though. I can always make it a sprite. That's the thing. I know how to rotate sprites very easily. So if I have to, that's what I'll do. So I have that code saved here. So here's the code. So that was for a triangle. Okay, I'm going to be working specifically in the mowing section, so I want to just turn off my messages. Messages, wife, unlocked, 0. 0, and I think that should take care of getting new messages. There we go. Let's go. Well, let's just see first how this works. Does it pop up new messages? I'm gonna have the annoying fade and fade outs for now, just so I can see what's happening accurately. Messages, did I break anything? Oh yeah, there's that. Nothing. Okay. Yeah. Okay. And I can also always do my own draw event as needed. Just override this. I can do that if I need to. See the variables I'd be working with. The triangle has 3 points, rectangle has 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I need to get 4 things. Yeah, I think for mowing. Where's mowing camera? I think for mowing, I'm going to inherit the event, then also just destroy it. And just copy and paste it all over so I can just play around with it as needed. This is what I'm working with. Right, so I have these variables, but these need to get changed. Update camera angle. I get the angle here. Good. I can also get the fade X1. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to work with this. Create special fade stuff for rotating cameras. Rotating camera. There's no rotating camera. I can just have it be normal. So let's just do if global.camera rotation is false, right? That feature is turned off. Then I can. It's just me and the music's a little loud. Wonderful. There we go. Then I can do event inherited. Then if it's true, do all this stuff. Yeah, I like that. It's funny. Fade in and fade out. This is what I'm working with. So first, special fade stuff. Fade, what am I calling it? Nothing yet. So there's 4 coordinates I need. And it needs to be based on the X. So drawing from the top left corner. Yeah, this is going to be tricky, but if I can do it with a triangle, I can do it with a rectangle, right? So let's just say special fade stuff for rotating camera. Fade x1 equals x. Fade y1 equals y. Fade x2, it's x plus box width, right? Box size. Fade y2 equals y plus box size, right? Because all of these have plus box size. Oh man, this is going to be tricky. Maybe this is where I stop the stream to work on this silly thing. Do I just create a sprite? I don't want to. Would it be simpler? Sprites. Because rotating a sprite on a middle center origin is actually really easy. That's what I do for everything else. Where I draw it would be different also. Oof. Not gonna do this. I might as well just try working on this. I'm gonna have to end the stream just because I'm gonna be focusing on some math. So I can't be talking and focusing on that. So I'm gonna stop the stream here. Thanks for watching.